If you want to fill the top part of that out, I'll take care of it.
Yep. There you go.
Let's see. Oh, what's your soch?
Do you need that?
Yeah.
What do you need that for?
We sell it overseas to foreigners.
I don't feel really comfortable giving out my social there.
I was just teasing. It doesn't go to Armando. Basically, when I run the account, we do a soft pull credit check just to make sure you are who you say you are.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. I don't know you. You just, nothing against you. I just don't really feel comfortable
How do you
social.
know? Just some guy in your house.
You just showed up.
I got this nifty
You
shirt.
look official, but
I stole this shirt off the real satellite guy. Just to show you, John, I'm not even gonna leave with your information. It's all blacked out. Like basically, if you run off with the equipment we give you, we hunt you down. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and write that down, I'll cover that.
alrighty.
I call it in immediately to my claims office, so before I leave, I won't have a copy of it.
So Jay, I noticed there was kind of this pattern where you, depending on how much the customer gave, that's how much you took. Walk us through that. What's the psychology behind that?
Okay. One, there is a very real concern about social being sensitive information and them giving that out to a stranger. So because that's such a big concern, I really want to make it like it's no big deal. And I don't want to over-explain it. My thinking there is, one, ultimately the question they're asking themselves is this guy a thief? Right? Well, that's kind of a ballsy thing to come out and say. For you to just be a customer and say, well, how do I know you're not a thief? That's going to make them uncomfortable. If you're willing to give me your social just because you're uncomfortable calling me a thief, that's fine by me. So, does that make sense where I'm basically saying, do you need my social? Yes. And then shutting my mouth, I'm saying nothing. If that's uncomfortable for you and you give me your social, hey, that's the easiest thing I can do is not say anything. The next step is the customer's going to ask you, what do you need that for? Sometimes I'll joke around, turn it into a joke, make them see that it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes I'll just say we do a soft pull credit check. The key there is quick, concise answer. Don't over-explain. Now they're either going to give it to you or they're going to say, I don't feel comfortable with this. Then I really try to smooth it out with them. Say, look, I don't leave with any of your information. If you run off with our equipment, we have a way of hunting you down. If they still have an issue with it, I'll say, now, how about this? So you can leave it blank for now. We don't really need this right now. In a minute, I'm going to call this into my customer service over the phone. You can just give it to them over the phone. And a lot of times that'll work fine too, so.
Awesome. Have you had to go anything past that before?
The last sale I lost over a social was probably 3.5 years ago. No. Another thing you can do too is if you've made other sales in the area, you can. This is where the bandwagon approach works really well, especially if you've already done installs. You say, look, we did the neighbors over here, we did the neighbors over there. Like, obviously, wherever I go, my truck follows. I'll show them the customer's paperwork and say, I don't have any of their information. It's just to make sure you are who you say you are.
And so the psychology behind that is you're creating the very firm foundation of, you said that the reason they wouldn't want to do it is because they think you're a thief, and you've created that you're actually very, very reliable and that they can
Clearly not a thief.
Awesome.
The other thing I'll sometimes point out if I'm in a low-income neighborhood, if they're like, how do I know you're not going to steal this? Say, look, if I was going to rip you off, I'd be in a different end of town. It's another really good line. Another line I use a lot.
Be careful when you use that, guys. Don't
yeah,
don't
go to a real nice
someone.
house. Yeah, you don't want to insult. Well, it's okay if you insult them a little bit. The other line I'll use a lot is like, look, I understand sensitive information. This is my last step of escalation, by the way, never in the beginning. I understand sensitive information. Like I said, you understand why we have to, do a credit check and make sure you pay your bills on time. I mean, obviously, you'd have to realize I'd be some sort of crazy person to just be ripping off every single one of your neighbors and not skipping town. Like that doesn't make much sense. I've had that one work before too.
Awesome.
The important thing I think for new reps to learn on this is that, yeah, you just saw a role play where he explained everything in detail, but you're never really going to do that. Maybe 10% of the time when it escalates to that level, but you really want to pay attention to that first role play where he was like, yes. And he looked back down at his paper. That was it. It was a one-word resolving the objection. Do you need that? Yes. Boom. Done. What do you need that for? Just for soft pull credit check. That's it. You know, like, so don't watch the whole role play and think you need to, you know, flip your binder, you know, flip the agreement open and show them, you know, that you're not taking their info.
Yeah.
Just do it quick and concise on this objection. Otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Stick to those things. Escalating levels of explanation.
And I think the biggest thing is make sure that you're the trustworthy person, and it won't be an issue. You know, if they feel like they can trust you, then it becomes a non-issue, and that's what Jay's doing a really good job of.
That comes so much to appearance. Like, there are certain reps that the way they conduct themselves, the way they dress, the way they smell on the doors, they never even get to that third level of escalation because they're so credible that the customers just never have that question. So if you're getting that, maybe take a look at your own personal appearance on the doors and see if there's something you can alter there to where you're not getting that objection as much.
Another tip I'd give you for credibility. I have the Dish Network pricing memorized. So I always make a little game of it. When I'm inside the house assessing the situation, I say, well, it looks like you're paying for this. Your total is $82.99. Try to hit that number right on the mark. Try to memorize your Dish Network and cable pricing. That way, when you say that, one, when you quote them a price, you could say, hey, look, you could take this to the bank. It's not like I just got lucky and happened to guess a number. I know exactly what you're paying. It also shows them that you pretty much know what you're talking about, which is going to resolve any doubt that you're actually who you say you are later on.